Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to our annual meeting. Here it is, almost the summer of 2022. It's almost unbelievable that we're already here. As we were looking at things, it's been quite a year, to be sure. Over the last 9 months, Pastor Brian and myself have been leading worship more in the last 9 months than maybe we've done in the last 9 years. And so it's been a very interesting season for that as well. Thanks for going on that journey with us. We had a conversation recently about Pastor Brian's guitar. It had gotten out of tune. He was playing it, and it was beginning to hurt his fingers a lot when he was playing, and something just didn't seem right at it. So he finally, before he got rid of it, before he sold it, he decided he'd go and see if just getting it tuned up or getting it set up would be something that he could do and see if it would make a difference. Surprisingly, when he met with the guitar tech, he showed him how the guitar itself was beginning to pull itself and twist itself out of place. And what it needed to be done with that guitar is to actually get a realignment done. That the guitar was actually buckling under its own pressure, the strain that it was putting on itself. Isn't that interesting? Because the strain that actually makes the guitar sound good, makes the guitar play well, that keeps it all together is actually the thing that can begin to pull it apart. It's something interesting, I think, that helps us to kind of see what can happen in the local church sometimes. The same pressures that we need to hold us together can sometimes be what pulls us out of sync. Pulls us out of sync with one another. Pulls us out of sync with a loving God. And with loving those who are far from God. If we get out of sync, if we get out of alignment with those things, what we need, just like that guitar needed, was a realignment. As I look back on the last 12 months, I'm so incredibly grateful that one of the things that you made it possible for is for me to actually get some time away on a sabbatical. There was a lot of pressures that I had to get away a year ago for this annual meeting and getting everything put together and put in place so that I could go on that trip. In a lot of ways, I had pushed myself and created a lot of tension that took me beyond the limit. Truly what I needed was some realignment in my own life. So what ended up happening with that particular trip is I structured it in the following way. I first went nearby to Ellicottville. There in Ellicottville, I got in a cabin kind of by myself and spent some time with God, spent some time studying and reading and learning a little bit more about my craft, which is teaching and preaching and other things as well. And then we went and got in our vehicle and went across the country. Many of you watched online as we posted pictures along the way. But I personally went and spent some time in Colorado Springs with our friend Dwight Smith and his wife Patty to just help Aaron and I to be able to get some realignment in our own marriage and in our own ministry vocational mindset of what it looks like to be the pastor of the local church. It was a very healthy season for us. And then for my family, then we took the next 3 weeks and spent some time visiting our national parks and other really hard to reach places around this country. And you know a lot of these places, the Grand Canyon, Zion National Park, Yellowstone National Park. Just an incredible trip. And then when I got back, returned to New York State, dropped my kids off, and then spent another week out in the cabin myself just to be able to spend some more time kind of seeing what it is that God would have for me in this season. If you've ever gotten away like that, it was surprising to me that when I first broke away from a regular life, how difficult it was for me to unplug. I've been warned that this could be the case, but it was really hard. Someone like me who's driven in personality type to like be working on the next thing all the time, it was difficult for me to not be working on something. And so one of the first things I had to think about was how to remove the email notifications and all the other apps that want your attention on your phones and on your devices and unwind from that for a couple of weeks. And so as we look at that, I think that was actually something I had to look at for myself throughout the regular season of the year, from the amount of notifications and pressures that are being put not only on myself, but on our staff and on our pastoral team and on our elders throughout the rest of the year. Because if we continue to have all of these things pressuring us, we will find that we are unsustainable as well. So what is it that we can do? Well, as you turn the pages this year, as you look through, as you listen to our presentation on our annual report, you'll see what's coming on in the next year is a little bit like getting a guitar back in its proper setup. You'll see a strong vision. You'll see a strong calling for ministry teams as they are coming together. We've already started this process a year ago, but we realize now that there are some times that we need some realignment to happen there and help people to become more engaged in the church body so that more people can be doing the responsibilities, so that elders and pastors, we can be equipping the saints for the ministry, because these ministry teams really are the lifeblood, that is the conduit that which we see flowing through our church here at 6301 Main Street in Williamsville. These are the ministry teams that are coming together. You'll see them as you look through this. You'll see the different ways that they actually spoke to how the budget was coming together, how we form ourselves throughout the year, how we are interacting with our local community, our global community, the way that we are making bridges across the street and across the oceans for the sake of the gospel. We're realigning these things and making sure that the tensions we feel just from the regular pulls of life are actually helping us to have a beautiful sound. So today, this meeting is about refocusing. Today, this meeting is, and this annual report is about realignment. When a guitar is properly set up, it sings beautiful songs. When it's undergone a proper alignment, it stays in tune and the whole room knows that it is resonating beautifully. I think this is the same process that is happening in our midst, so that God is retuning, God is rehoning our hearts to mimic His, and that is our prayer. That the Lord would be the master technician, that He would be working in our hearts, working in our ears so that we can hear His song and we would join Him in it. There's an old hymn that uses these words that I want to close with today. Christ for the world we sing, for the world Christ we bring. May that be our heart and our desire as we look for what God has in 2022 and 2023 and for the year after that and for the year after that and for the year after that. We do believe that the best is yet to come. Grace be with you. Have a wonderful day. Thank you.